Election year 2012, November 6th at 8:43. So, who didn't vote? Why not? Don't feel targeted. Just know that you had a choice or you forgot. Not a big deal. You should not feel guilty for that. Regardless of what other people and naysayers may say. Because I've had a few people come up to me saying, it's your civil right to vote. I'm like, if it was your civil right to take a cyanide pill, would you still do it? Kind of makes you think. So let's have a look at this system. It's a black and white system, for the most part. Regardless of having other parties that we barely ever get to see, which would be the Libertarian, the Independent, and the Green. Just to name a few. But we don't get the exposure to them. And why is that? Because for so long, we've had these two parties, and people like that. People don't like change. And yet, people really need change. We need something different that has not been the same for over about 200 years now. This was established back when America was established, which makes sense for having the electoral college back then, when it was very few states, very few people. But now, many states, millions of people. Why can't we have a one person, one vote, and have one vote count for one vote? Why do we have to have the electoral college still? Why can't we just, I don't know, reform what we have? Make it work better for us? This is supposed to be for the people, by the people. But it's not. It's for the people, by whoever can pay the most. Lobbyists and everything like that nowadays. It's just, whoever's got the most money can put you in power. Well, that's wrong. So, why do we have it still? Why can't we simply just change it? What is stopping us as the American people? Why can't we simply do what our, as people would say, right would be? We have a chance, if you remember from back, could be a while for some people, but you were taught that if the country, the American people wanted to change something, they had the right to change it. If they didn't like the government, they had a right to change it. Overthrow and input a new government. Now, some people would be terrified of this idea because, one, they don't like change. Two, the fear tactics used by the Americans are so strong that some people fear thinking outside the box. They fear thinking, oh God, what if I vote for something else? What if I don't vote? That's wrong! We should not be afraid to have a choice. Which is what this country was set. Religious freedom, which then led to other freedoms. So why can't we have the freedom of choice? Because people want to control us. It's just anger is driving this country to fear, so that they like the system. They know if they keep us in fear, they'll never have to change the system, and it's going to stay a broken system. It's just barbaric in some ways. 200 years, and the system hasn't changed at all. Not even the slightest. Okay, maybe some slight ones being the other parties. But why didn't we get the same exposure from those parties as much as we get the Republican or the Democrat. Money. It always boils down to money. So, why do we have to have old men running this thing? I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, for me, a president is nothing but a scapegoat. A face that you can look at and see and blame for when things go wrong. It's just like with Bush. No, he was not a very good president because he went to war. But people just need someone to blame. And when they see a president, it's a single person who they feel has power when he doesn't really. Because the Congress and the Senate have the power underneath him. They can go behind his back, they can go under him, or whatever you want to say, and put things in that he does not have to vote on. It's just wrong. So then, what can we do? What can we change? If you haven't voted, good! No one should be able to prosecute you for not voting. It's a choice. Remember that. So just take time. Be proud if you did vote. Be proud if you didn't vote. But do not get mad if you see somebody you know who didn't vote and you did. Do not throw it in their face. It is wrong. It's just a choice. And we have every right and our choice to do what we want. If we don't want to vote, we don't have to. So for those who say, oh look, it's our civil right. No. It's your civil choice. No one is forcing you to vote. So don't force anybody else to vote. Don't get mad if they didn't vote. Regardless of the history. Because the history is what is dictating how we run our lives now. Things need to change. And if you see the way that I see it, let me know. Take this and spread it. Even if you only agreed with me for a tiny bit, it still means you agreed. To a degree. Show it. Spread this around. Let people hear that a change must happen, or that it's okay not to do something. It's okay not to be afraid. Don't let people bully you. Because right now, that's what the government is looking like. A great big bully. So, this is Wolf Halvids, ranting off. If you like this, go ahead. If you don't, go ahead. I like to read both sides. I like to understand where your standing is. So, come, explain. Let's have an intellectual conversation, not yelling and screaming like little kids, which is pretty much what the Republican and Democratic parties are. Screaming, yelling little kids on a playground. That's pretty much it. So, you have a choice. Did you make it? Did you not? This is Wolf Halvids, signing off.